The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the podcasters and any guests and do not reflect the views, thoughts, and opinions of any of the sponsorships or affiliates of thereof.
You are now tuned into the Lake Talk with your host, G Daddy Funk. The Lake Talk. What it do? It's your boys from the Lake Talk 801 podcast, where we shine light on local artists and entrepreneurs. To my right, I got Babyface Fonzie.
What up?
And myself, G Daddy Funk. We've been MIA, and kind of sucks, bro.
Yeah, it does. It does. But at the same time, it's like, it's for a reason. It's not because we've been lazy or anything like that. It's just we got other things going on. So you know how that goes sometimes, man. We just, we either working or we're working.
Yep.
So
yeah, man, it's tough because we had some stuff scheduled and we had to move stuff around because of work and family and all that. So
yes, sir.
It's tough. But we're gonna try to get back on it and
on the
and
consistency.
Guys, yep, for sure, and give you guys more content, man. But
I was talking to Dre and he was asking me like, hey, what's up? You guys got to get back on it and stuff. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to. I've been working a lot of hours. G Daddy's been working a lot. Ruby has been working a lot. So it's like, we're trying to sync up our times and get it all right. Yeah. And it just hasn't happened for us. He's all, bro, but at the end of the day, it's like you gotta schedule at least 1 hour, for the podcast or something. You gotta make time.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
He stopped. He's like, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but still though, bro, I really want to see you guys come up. Anyway, so thank you, Dre, for that. In all honesty, he motivated me. Yeah, man, our content's gonna be coming out, and it's we're doing what we gotta do.
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, I feel like I could do more. And if you're out of town, I could do something. I could go live or whatever,
Yeah.
And do something for the podcast. So I put some of the blame on most of the blame on me because I could still be doing stuff while you're not here. Ruben's not here because I know he just went to Texas. So yeah.
He want to go work out
there. So, yeah. So shout out to Dre, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. One more game.
One more time. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, that's basically it, bro. But what's been going on, man, in the lake? Oh, so the other day we posted this. Shout out to Mike Masters, Gabino Grimes.
Yes.
That was messed up. That they got their stuff stolen.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
But then again, it's a blessing in disguise because the community came together and really helped out the movement.
Yep.
And they were able to get all new equipment and stuff. And man, shout out to them. They came out on the news.
Yeah,
I came out on the news. Thank you, Gabino. You know what I'm saying? Because you, I came out in the picture. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you're the face of it, but no.
Nah. But definitely, man. It's great to hear that we have a community that's really down for the cause. You know what I'm saying? That's really willing to put their money when it's needed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So. Yep. Thank you to the community, man. Big shout out to everyone that's done that, man. That makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good that, man, you know what I'm saying? We got the community has our backs in a sense. So
definitely.
Man.
And also shout out to Shotty, man. He cuz he's still with the Shot with Shotty.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to him cuz he kind of I think he helped him out with that.
Most definitely
on the news, but yeah, Shotty's doing, man. He's staying low key, but he's working
behind the
scenes, and he's doing his thing. So shout out to him, man.
Yeah, most def, bro. Shotty was one of the first dudes that we had on.
Yep.
And cool ass dude, man. I at least for me, I thought he was a cool ass fucking dude. Just you know what I'm saying, vibing by himself and stuff all the time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to him, man.
So yeah, I mean, I honestly, I kind of messed up. I didn't do much research on what's going on in the city, but there's a lot of stuff, concerts, new music coming out. So you guys stay locked in. We're gonna post as much as we can on our page. Oh shit. So yeah, we'll stay on that, man.
For sure.
But we do have a guest with us here today, man. It's somebody that we've been having an eye on, man, and he's been working, doing his thing. He's an artist. He's a producer. And he just came out with some merch. So, we got Danny Boy in the building.
Hey,
What's up?
Danny Boy, what's up,
going on,
man?
I appreciate the recognition, for real.
Nah.
Appreciate the platform. Thanks for having me.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's get into it, man. I know I was asking you a few questions before we started. Trying to break the ice a little bit. You seem like a serious dude, man. You a serious dude?
I feel like I peel like layers. I think everybody does,
Yeah.
But I think like an onion.
Okay.
I could be really outgoing, but on the surface, I am really serious. I just I think I'm an introvert by heart, but I push against it as much as I can, But I think it helps me too. I'm really observant. I observe a lot, I should say, and
Yeah.
that's just my energy,
Hey, that's
Yeah,
dope, man.
yeah.
And you're cool, by the way. You're down to earth, bro.
Yeah.
From the questions I was asking you, the way you were answering.
Yeah.
Let's start off with this, man. Where are you originally from?
So from West Valley, Utah, right here, just where I grew up,
Born and raised.
born and raised. Yep,
Hey, and how old are you?
21.
21 years old, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so take us back, man, a little bit to your childhood days, bro. How
Yeah.
was your childhood out here in Salt Lake City?
Yeah. I would say, generally speaking, I think the best way to put that is just being a first generation Chicano. That's generally speaking, because there's depth to that.
Yeah.
I could start telling stories, you feel me, and we can go in depth, you feel me. But with that being said, I think someone from that background, what does it say about them? Being first generation, that usually means you're low income, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you're from your family is from another region. So like sociologically speaking, that's where we are in the totem pool, or that's how I grew up. I came up out of that, being first generation, low income here in Utah. And I didn't understand that as a youngster.
So kind of explain to me what do you consider? I mean, of course, and I'm sorry about that. Wow. Of course, low income means you have no money, right? But
Yeah.
how bad was it? Like, how bad was it when you say low income? Like, were you living in the projects?
Now, I would say like what I love about my parents is, regardless, we had the bare necessities. You feel me? Like we never lacked that, but there was other things. With that being said, and I didn't understand that as a youth, once again. But with that being said, rephrase your question again real quick.
No, what does low income mean to you?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
what?
I think a good analogy. You ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Mm-hmm. No, I haven't. No, I'm sorry. I
So
haven't.
basically, it's like a sociology thing. The triangle is, if you have your bare necessities, that's met. But if you haven't met that, then you can't go beyond that.
Do you mind speaking a little bit closer to the mic? And my
So
bad, bro.
if you can't go beyond your bare necessities, essentially, you will not excel from there. But being said, if I have my bare necessities met, I may not have other things met, like loving and belonging, things
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
But with that being said, with my childhood, I feel like we moved a lot. We didn't have the coolest clothes, stuff like that. We didn't have the extracurriculum activities.
Okay.
So with that being said, where does a youth pour his energy when he doesn't have a sport, an occupation, a muse?
The streets.
You said it.
Yeah.
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 Well, we come from that same environment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think like for me, I guess when it comes to low income, is like, yeah, you don't have a steady home, right?
Yeah.
You're not a middle class, right? So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you guys had to struggle in that sense.
Yeah.
And this was what, when you were what, like since what, 3, 4, 5, 6, you started noticing that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's interesting to me, and I love when that question gets asked, because nowadays I can articulate that and reflect on it. And, it draws a lot of inspiration, or just to dwell on that, because something I reached a standpoint now, and as an artist, is being able to reflect on all of that. Because as a youth, I was just living that. So I was taking that in. I wasn't standing back and observing that. I was, that was a day in a life type thing. So with that being said, I think it's an interesting question, interesting topic. So we could keep going on it, gnawing at it.
Yeah.
So you seem well spoken, bro. Like well spoken. How did that come about when you said that you look to the streets, right?
Yeah.
How did you look into the streets, or did you go to school, or what happened there? Like,
I think like so Utah's an interesting place, right? I feel like here in this region you could really pick and choose. So in other cultures, if you're from a certain particular neighborhood, you're subject to that.
Yeah.
I think Utah, you can really pick your poison, and I just think as a youth that lacked a lot of guidance, I wasn't making the best decisions.
Okay.
But I think with that being said, I think really just that trickling off, and it's amazing to see that gang culture was out here too.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize is, people are coming from south down this way. You feel me? And it's a thing. And what always surprises me is that, I had written something where a statement kind of, homies dying over streets never stepped on. Essentially, it's like people have died over LA streets over here. They've never really stepped on there, but they'll stand on it. They'll die on it. You feel me?
Damn.
For sure.
And just being like knowing that, but it's a sociological thing, because if you may have not even been aware of that or be exposed to that in Cottonwood Heights.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Yeah.
You're playing football. You're doing this and that. But in West Valley, that's why I keep bringing up sociology, because that's where I got interested in that topic, because it breaks it down in terms of your upbringing, your community, and where you play a role into your society.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So that helps me understand it, because everybody has it different, and we all have struggles. Not to knock a middle class or a higher class person, because they had their struggles too.
Right.
But these are my struggles. That's what I had to deal with. Those were my endeavors. But
Definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So did you? What school did you go to? High school.
I went to a few.
Did you?
Moved a lot. We moved a lot.
Why is because you guys were moving like from
Yeah.
Okay.
In high school, obviously, I wasn't making the best decisions, so sometimes I had to get transferred,
Okay.
or either I was moving.
Okay.
But I went to Granger and then Granite Connections, and I graduated at Valley High School. Shout out to Valley High School, because I think they really provide opportunities for the youth there.
Nice.
And it's really, for me, it was out the way, so I could I found a good it was like a utopia for me, of like I was out the way, I could study, get my packets done. I started actually reading.
Okay.
I was reading, so I noticed, I was like, so it's definitely a thing of like your environment does really impact you. Birds of a feather flock together. But being able to graduate at a school in South Jordan, that kept me focused. And I think, things like that, excelling through high school and realizing, if I make my own decisions and pave my own path, I can, I have the will to do so. But when you're the odd number out of a whole bunch of people, it's hard. It's hard to go against the grain. But I think a lot of us have to learn to do that, and when to do that,
Yeah. And like growing up, what type of music were you guys listening to?
I feel like a lot of music was background noise to me. So it could have been corridos, it could have been Chicano rap, anything that was popping, right?
Yeah.
A lot of Chicano rap from my older brothers, that was just background noise, That was just playing, that was just... but as I got older, I started leaning towards, original hip hop. That's what my brothers were putting me on. And it's all about that put on, like who put you on, like what was your first introduction to what? And I think that's where some music feels like home, where like some kids may listen to indie pop rock, and that's just what feels like home to them. That's what resonates with them, and it connects right away. For me, it was hip hop. That was my put on, but I'm glad that I was exposed to things like that, like being 11. Like my first distinct memory was the Good Kid, Mad City album,
Okay.
That was my introduction. That's what hip hop was supposed to be to me. That's what that was familiar to me.
Yeah.
That was an introduction to me. So, and then I think that's why I think my older brothers, my older brother Chewy, my older brother Boo Boo, they just put me onto some good shit, and I feel like it set a high standard, humbly, of like, this is my standard of hip hop. like that first introduction of hip hop, hearing it, it's just something inspirational about it. And any hip hop consumer or listener can resonate with that. Is when something cuts through those speakers and it just grabs you like, damn, he said something that I know he meant, because I've felt that before too. That's what hip hop is to me, is, true connection, really resonating with people on break beats or music in general, but yeah, hip hop has a place in my heart for sure. I think hip hop raised me, that was a part of my parenting too. You feel me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
so would you say Kendrick kind of influenced you to start making music, or
I think-
where would that?
Yeah,
when did
Kendrick
that come in?
definitely a big idol for sure.
Okay.
Other usual suspects, right? Like anybody that was inspiring, Tupac.
Yeah.
I feel like Tupac's music is more than just hip hop. Sometimes I feel like it's activism too. If you
Yeah.
hear what he's saying,
For sure.
he's poetic in the sense of what he's embedding a true message.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like his music was activism to me. If you could read between the lines, and that's where I became infatuated with hip hop. Was I would listen to it so much where any hip hop listener would agree, right? Where you start dissecting it, start living with it, you really let it marinate, and if you read between the lines, there's depth to it. And I think that's what real hip hop was true men or true stories being displayed, on music, and you could hear the depth to it, but yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
No, and that's true. I mean, he was more like a. And with the poet, right? Because they use that in schooling, all his lyrics, his poems. So he was saying something, like you said, read between the lines. He had something to say, and so yeah, damn, that's tight.
Yeah, Tupac was definitely a revolutionist. You know what I'm saying? He changed the game big time. So of course, once you said that, Kendrick was like, all right, this is hip hop. So after you listened to everyone else, like were the feelings the same? Did hip hop amplify, or did it go down after that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I used to be stuck in this, like, I don't know if anybody else agrees, but I used to be stuck in this like hip hop junkie mode, or like original, like, man, we gotta keep the essence of hip hop. We gotta keep it real. And I think that's still a thing, but what I realized is I started to distinctify. There's original hip hop, and then hip hop has evolved, right?
Yep.
And I think a lot of us need to be open to that. Like hip hop was always about being hip, and whatever is current, that is hip hop. If you think about hip hop from before, Grandmaster Flash, anybody really, they didn't have a reference. They were just being unique and hip and original to whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So to me, hip hop is just being true to yourself and creating in the now. You feel me? So I don't knock a lot of newer stuff either as of now.
Yeah.
I understand it, whether I like it or not. I think as long as someone's being true to themselves, that's hip hop to me in this day and age. You feel me?
Right.
But so hip hop is a really broad thing. I love it, and it comes in all shapes and sizes. But yeah.
So were you saying at first you were kind of like, nah, that's like the newer stuff that
Yeah,
you were listening
I used to be really closed-minded,
Yeah.
and I think as I just matured as a person, I became open-minded to a lot of things.
Who is somebody that you heard that you were like closed-minded to?
That
And we're talking mainstream, of course.
I think I used to be close. Like I think the first time I heard rappers like Mozzie, or even like
okay.
Even it could have been a new school Nipsey, like the production. If
Yeah.
I think sometimes there's this bias if you start hearing 808s or something that's not distinctive to original hip hop. Though you can have this bias of like you'll just neglect it, shut it off.
Right.
But I just became more open minded and started really listening, and as I started understanding music to create and produce, and there's talent in that too,
For
like
sure.
everybody has their own pocket and how they resonate with themselves. Teach your own, really. I think.
Okay.
When learning about hip hop and stuff, like, was there ever anything you heard like old school that really like that captured your attention, like, and you were like, damn, like they got it, these new artists got it from these guys, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what was that? Who was that? What artist was it, old school wise?
I leaned a lot towards West Coast stuff personally. I love the West Coast. Like
Most
I leaned a lot But so that could be any. I feel like obviously I think DJ Quick, a lot of inspiration
Hey.
on the West Coast.
Hell yeah.
And then even like old school down south stuff like of course Outkast, but then you dig deeper to who's with Outkast. You ever heard of Goody Mob?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like I feel like those were originators, but all of that, like those are people that kicked the door down, and inspired a lot of people, and that's what I'm saying is like I know where hip hop sprouted from, and I think I'm never gonna forget that. But personally, I want to leave my own sonic thumbprint too, just
Yeah.
as they did, and,
Yeah.
and I think that's our responsibility. I think sometimes there's a sense of burden of like we have to sustain that sound. Like we had to do what the originators did. But in a sense, that's almost, and respectfully and humbly, I feel like that's almost, you're just imitating what they did
Yeah.
personally. And not to knock that, that's cool if you want to retain the essence. But I think if you just create something that's original and distinctive to you, that's where you really add your value to hip hop. You
Right.
feel me? That's what original is to me. And that's what I want to do, if anything.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So now we're gonna go back a little bit.
Yeah.
When you first started writing and or rapping,
Yeah.
what really got you into it? Like when did you say, you know what, I'm gonna do this?
Yeah. I think around like 17, I had like messed around with some homies just on the homies mic, they just pushed me to the mic like, hey, try it. I think you'll be good,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I had hopped on and played around, but I never took it serious until like 17. 17 was an interesting time for me. I feel like I was going to decide, am I going to graduate college, what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
I didn't really have any occupation. I was just, another noodle in the sopa. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like straight like that. And I think I always loved hip hop, and intuitively I knew I wanted to take a shot at it,
Okay.
So I think eventually at like 17, I bucked up and just, I said, well, I have nothing to lose, and I just wrote by myself,
Okay.
but repeatedly. And I didn't have a standard set. I just wanted to write. And I think there was a passion. Like I think I was really just in competition with myself when I was writing, when I was writing by myself when I started. Like I didn't have the thought of like, I might not even share this with anybody. I'm gonna just write. I have a distinctive memory of, I just took a notebook with a pencil to the garage, and I just started practicing aloud right there. But what always surprises me with just a pencil and paper and not much musical education, how I was able to learn, how I was able to train my ear to start catching the rhythm and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's intuitive, you feel me? But all in all to say is that, like, if anything, reflecting back on that time when I first started, is you don't really need much to start rapping, really, you just really, it's all about repetition, It's like
Right.
training a muscle, you feel
Right.
me?
Yeah.
And then that's where like places like Spy Hop came, where
Okay.
I thought I had it figured out. But shout out to Spy Hop.
Yeah.
But then me first stepping into a studio and thinking I knew what hip hop was, being a hip hop junkie, but then throwing things about, like, I didn't know nothing about music equipment, music theory. I was a artist off instinct. Like I just wrote on the beat, but I wasn't hearing things about like, damn, I'm a little off beat, and they would bring that to my attention, stuff like that. So that was my first exposure to having like a sense of music community, a team,
Right.
being at Spy Hop. I was like 17. I remember walking in there like all nervous because I had never been in a studio. So to me, it was overwhelming, but I knew I wanted to be there, so that was an opportunity for me. And once I learned about it, just it being a nonprofit in the middle of Salt Lake, I think it's a slept on opportunity, really. I think what I saw it as, and I was hungry because I remember they were only accepting kids 19, after 19 you can't be there, right?
Yeah.
And I was 17. There had been kids that were already there from like 15. They were already soaking game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember like, dang, I really got to hit the ground running. Like in my mind, I was like, this is artist development for me. As an independent artist, I was thinking like, I want to stay here and take advantage of every minute, and so that's what I did. I became an apprentice there under audio engineer mentor named Jerry Ray. He taught me a lot of stuff. The homie Mo Deezy, he used to work there. Shout out to Mo.
Yeah, shout out to him, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those were just the mentors there at the time, you know. And I can't really leave them out of that story, you know, because those were the people in my presence. You know, when I talk about that, those were the people that when I walked into that building, that's who was receiving me and looking at me. You know, so to me that's always you know, I always think back about that, you know, because it could have been something of like, we ain't feeling this kid, don't let him through the door for whatever reason, but they were open arms,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and that could have stifled me in hip hop, you know, to like where I didn't have resources and I maybe would have gave up.
Yeah.
But because I had that infrastructure, I had somewhere to resonate or to hop on mics and play around, you know.
For sure.
That was like, to me, that was my stomping grounds. That's like, that was just training, you feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that really prepared me for things like community college and the music recording technology program I ended up doing, and any production environment in general, you know, like being exposed to that, I was able to excel for sure.
Right. Right.
That's dope, man. We had Zach Ivy here, and I don't know if you know who that is, because he does mentorship out in at Spy Hop.
Yeah. Yep.
You know who that is?
No, I think he might be one of the newer mentors, I'm assuming.
Okay,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, but anyway, so it's crazy because he said that they be teaching like from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, especially him with hip hop. So when you got confronted with criticism, like, hey, you're off beat, you're off this.
Yeah.
Did you get discouraged at the moment?
I think there's a sense of discouragement, but I think I was hungry enough to be coachable, you know, because if you let your pride get in the way, especially in production environments, you know, you gotta learn to be open minded.
Yeah.
And especially being open to producers, and sometimes you know when you gotta be able to, you know, pick and pull. Like not all advice is good, neither is it bad, right?
Yeah.
But I think the idea of being coachable, if anything, there's nothing wrong with like let yourself be helped. You feel me?
Right.
If you let yourself be helped, that's where you can develop. I think teamwork makes the dream work, you know.
For sure.
And I think being in studio environments, if you ever been in like, if you've seen a real production, you know there's the engineer, there's the producer, there's the musicians, and then there's the artists. It's a whole gumbo of like everybody comes together. And just with that being said, yeah, just being, you know, you could take, I would say just take it with a grain of salt, you know, because we're all growing and developing. I feel like I still got a lot of room to grow myself. You feel me? Like I'm still open to advice. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How fast did you learn that? Because a lot of young artists, they don't understand that right off the bat. Like, you know what I mean? And it seems like you did.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just ran in there and you're like, okay, I'm gonna.
I think it was just being exposing myself to people that I think are more informed, more experienced, and being willing to accept that.
Okay.
I think when you're a cub and you're around a pack full of lions, you know, eventually you're gonna become, you know, you're gonna become a big wolf, big dog too, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
for sure.
It'll just breed. It'll rub off on you, you know.
Yep.
And so yeah, I just think like steel sharpens steel. But I love to do that. Is surround myself people better than me, and knowing that, you know, that I'm touchable, and you know there's another man just stronger than me.
Yeah.
You feel me? And another man that can teach me something that I don't know. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what keeps me growing. That's what keeps me knowing, if anything, you know. Yeah.
That's dope.
Well,
Yeah.
Are you teaching people now? Are you getting people under your wing and kind of like, you know, coaching them?
I think I love the idea of education. I don't knock it. I never do. And I think that's something humbly that I do innately because I grew up in educational environments. I always embraced education. I saw education gave me structure. So with that being said, that's something that I just do out the strength of. If I see somebody struggling, I can't help but correct them. You know, like that's just the right thing. That's how I grew up because that's what people did in my environments. People corrected me.
Can you give me an example?
So it could be anything, whether you're in the gym, whether you're in the studio. But like, I think in the gym is a good example where you could see someone doing a bad rep, and a lot of people are gonna let that person like
do it wrong,
and just like look at him all awkward. But I'm the type of dude that like, yo, let me just show you something real quick. Don't mind me, just, you know. But
gotcha.
Yeah, like,
gotcha.
But I think that goes along. But that's how I am in any environment too. Is I can't help but You know, there's nothing wrong with giving game. I feel like that's just what it's just like I said.
It's good karma. It's good karma too, man.
Yeah,
it's good
for
karma.
sure.
So
Yeah,
most
Okay.
okay.
And how, like, when you told your parents, hey, you know, I'm gonna start making music, how did they feel about that?
honestly, I don't know how at the time. I didn't even really tell them. I just went for it, and
Okay.
obviously I think they caught on. Them being Hispanic and just from in their own world.
Yeah.
Personally, I think they're just glad to see me excel and like the sheer fact that I was studying something, that was enough for them,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's still something they're still learning to understand fully. Being said that, they haven't really seen everything I've had to go through, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of it's my own realm. You feel me?
Yeah.
Whether
yeah.
like I said, is they do what they got to do. And I respect my parents because they're real fathers and mothers.
Yeah.
They play that position and they stay in that lane. You feel me?
Dope. Yeah.
With that being said, they're not over here always seeing these other aspects of my life, but they play that role in my life where they maintain the household. They maintain the peace rock. You feel me?
Yeah.
They're just worried about putting food on the table, looking out for people, stuff like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
And if we got that, they're chilling. They're big chilling. Life's
For sure.
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you made music, man, did you bring it to your older brothers and like, hey, man, check this out? Or what do you think? Or
So I think so my older brother Boo Boo way back, I used to hang around, and just he would be around his homies and stuff like that, and they would kick out freestyles.
Okay.
And everybody has that experience with the homies and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But he was fairly exceptional. He was pretty good, and I think seeing him, like, dang, he raps good. I feel like that even planted a seed. But that was like a good exposure to me too. But other than that, yeah, I remember like first starting and then showing my brothers, and they weren't discouraging for sure. They were like, that's cool, that's what's up. But I think what was, if anything, that caught them is to see the persistence and to see like, dang, he's still doing that. Damn, that's what's up. Like,
Okay.
and then I think eventually they realized, oh, he's serious. Like,
Yeah.
he ain't gonna stop.
For
type
sure.
shit. Yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
it ain't been nothing but love. I think it's something of like, it got to be within you first and foremost. Like, I believe in myself first and foremost, and I think as long as I was pushing it, people started believing it more and more for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did all your friends believe in you like when you first started doing it, or did you notice some awkwardness from your friends?
I think something. It's like, especially for my homies, like my homies are the same way. Like if we could just be like free men and we could just get our money, like that's all we care about.
Yeah.
Like we could stay out of lockup, like so anything else is like above and beyond, So as long I feel like my homies were just happy to see me as a free man, getting my education, stuff like that. So even when I bring up topics like music, it's like, oh, that's cool, but like, that's what's up though, you getting your money, right? Stuff like that. But to this day, so I think with that being said, music is something that like a lot of people don't understand from that level of like the aspect of production, that, what it really takes, the networking, the rooms you got to be in, and the experience you had to have in terms of, I myself as an audio engineer, like they didn't understand the focus I had to have, and I don't expect them to, right?
Right.
So I think that's an aspect that they probably haven't seen, but I get it too,
For sure.
because when me going the educational route and a lot of the homies are grinding, that's their reality. They had to get bread,
Yep.
That's not their ideal, or not to say it can't be their ideal, but that's not what they're doing, and that's that,
Yeah.
And especially even too with music too, it's just it just, where is that applicable with what they got to do,
Right. Right.
So like it's not gonna resonate with everybody, but that's fine,
For sure.
yeah.
Damn.
Was that hard to accept in the beginning that it was not going to resonate with everybody?
I think I don't know. I think like what isn't said is understood. You feel me? Like I think it is what it is. Like regardless, everybody. I don't expect you can't expect everybody to understand.
Yeah.
You can't. You gotta take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, it ain't no thing. To be
Got
honest.
you.
Yeah.
What about the business side of the music industry, of the lane that you're in with the music?
Oh hell yeah, I think entrepreneurship all the way. I feel like I encourage that all the way. Like I own being an independent artist.
Right.
Because once I recognized myself as an independent artist, I recognized because I remember another homie asking me this and me telling him that I recognized that I had to wear a management hat, I had to wear a marketing hat, I had to wear a distribution hat. Also, besides engineering and writing, right? And in terms of entrepreneurship, in the music industry, it's a trip because it's like you're investing so much money in when do you break even, right? You know, because I remember realizing like, damn, out of all the investments I've made in life, music has been one of the hardest ones to make sense. And just in production in general, the production industry could be treacherous of like finding a legitimate stream of income. Like,
why is it? Because of the competitiveness? Because there's other people there, or
I think here just in Utah, our industry is still growing. That's what I've noticed is that we got, but it doesn't discourage me either because where a lot of people see that as a
setback,
or whatever they want to call it, I see it as an opportunity to feast, you know, an opportunity to start something up, you know, because we need pioneers.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because LA already got their people. They already got their situations, you know. But that's why I love things like this, like the Lake Talk. I never knock things like this because that means that's courage. That means you're willing to start from nothing. And I know you guys have felt that probably where people are going to be like, and probably from your families too, like, ellos que acá. Con el podcast, you know, like, so like you know,
con ese little podcast,
you know, like with the little,
What's up with your little podcast? How's that going?
I heard that too. What's up with your little music thing? Yeah. You gotta take it with a grain of salt. It's like, but I remember telling the homie too. I'm like, if people can't see it for themselves, they won't see it for you. You know.
Got you.
But it ain't nothing but love. It ain't nothing but love. For I love my everyday people, or like people that just get straight to the bag. You know, I can't knock that, you know, because life doesn't have to be so complicated. Yeah. You know, and like, I wish I had that, you know, but to me, I got to push myself, you know, I can't be content with just that, to be honest, you know, me personally, you know, but I don't knock that real shit. I don't knock that, you feel me? I think I could respect those men that just get to the bag and do what they got to do. You feel me? Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have something? Because I wanted to go somewhere else with this a little bit, but same topic. But
well, I was just gonna ask about like music beats.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Where do you make them, or do you have somebody? You know, where do you get them?
So that's something I actually wanted to clarify. So I lean more towards the audio engineering aspect.
Okay.
So that's what I own in terms of the production aspect, is me being an audio engineer.
So when it comes to an audio engineer, are you mixing and mastering and doing all that as well? Yeah. That's what that is, right?
Yeah. So tracking, mixing, and mastering. I don't claim the title as a mastering engineer, and any engineer knows not to really be claiming that because that's years and years of experience.
Right. That's Dr. Dre experience or something?
Yeah. But if we have to, we must. Type thing. So like if I gotta put a master together and slap it up together, I will, you know, with the resources that are at my hands. Okay. It's doable, but I still, just out of the respect for mastering engineers, I don't claim that, you know, just logically.
And congratulations, by the way, because you graduated this year, right?
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And I was gonna bring that up.
Oh, that's a powerful topic.
Yeah. So how was that experience, bro?
That was like, so that whole thing is like you guys asking me about, how did the homies take this in, or how does the world take that in? Yeah. Going the educational route, that was like my own little universe where, you know, where I would leave the Ville, you know, hop on the highway and touch down in Salt Lake and go to the community college, stuff like that, where once again I found a utopia where I could stay out the way, study, and find focus. You know, that's what college was for me. But something that I would always want to advise to the youth, because a lot of people will knock college, and I understand that. But
sorry about that.
Nah, you good.
Sorry about that.
But with that being said, with college, I think college is what you make it. You feel me? And I feel like a lot of the people personally that have felt like college didn't suit them well is because they may have not used those resources to their best advantage, you know, because some people may or may not need those resources. Maybe you could get straight to it, because it's definitely about who you know, right? But also it's about what you know too, because you can get in the room, but if like once you're tested and you're tested for what you know, like, so who you know is going to get you so far, but what you know is going to push you the extra mile, you know. So if you could, to me, college is like a badge of authority, right? That's the badge. Like, you can prove like, this is my authority, but you had to apply the authority. You had to apply what you know. Apply it.
Exactly.
So that's where I saw college is that's how I used it. To me personally, I used the best of that resource. I did not slack on every moment, you know, in terms of the connections I made, the resources, the space, and the information, all the notes I took. I made the best of that resource for sure. So with that being said, I think college is it's distinctive for everybody in terms of is it applicable to your life or not.
Yeah.
You know, but there's definitely like I would never knock education. You feel me? Because I think knowledge is power, and once you know, you can't unknow something, and knowing that is probably gonna get you to the back.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And then I feel like people that you know don't finish schooling,
Yeah,
it's because they didn't find something they loved, right?
very true. Yeah.
Would you say that you have a really passion for this?
Yeah, if you do something, you gotta do it with passion, and that's even in terms of like business and providing service. So I feel like a lot of people, you have to provide that service with passion. But the same thing with your study, right? You got to do it with passion,
Yeah.
straight like that. You just do it innately because there's already a passion linked to it, and you're gonna do it because it's just there. You know, there's that fire is burning.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. I dropped out of college, bro.
Hey, it's all good. I feel it too. You don't know how many times I felt like dropping out.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But to me, what helped me hold on, it was just because I wanted to really break a stigma. I felt like that's powerful, personally and humbly powerful for someone like me to be able to hold a degree. You know,
Most definitely.
because I'm first generation. I'm the first male in my family, I think, to have a degree, college degree. Like humbly,
Yeah, definitely.
but even
bro.
just to show that in my region, in my neighborhood too,
that it's
is-
possible.
that is possible, and even to like to a lot of onlookers or people from a higher class, to show is that, you know, we bear intelligence as well too, is that we lack a lot of resources or the guidance. We don't have that encouragement. You know, not a lot of our people are trying to go that route because we're just thinking about dollar signs because
Work.
we need to provide for our people.
Yep.
You feel me?
That's dope.
but
That's dope. I like
and
that.
I don't knock that, but at the same time is that like we need Chicano nerds too. We need our, you know, work smarter, not harder people. You feel me?
Yep.
Because we need that guy too as well. Like
For
I
sure.
don't like we just it's a must.
So talking about Chicanos, and especially because we're talking about rap, man.
Yeah.
Was there any Chicano influence rappers that you felt that kind of, you know, paved the way for you?
I think all of them, like, you know, because I don't want to favoritize any of them. I love Chicano rap, and I embrace it as a, you know, as a particular form of hip hop. I could go on and on, you know, like there's a Conejo, right? King Lil G, Proper Dose, and a whole bunch of underground mixtapes and stuff. Like I dug through hip hop, you know. So like as I named this stuff, I know I'm already missing so much stuff. So shout out to all the Chicano rappers. I think with that being said, I think Chicano rap still though, as someone in hip hop, we gotta push the bar. Personally, I feel like we still got a lot to prove, a lot to say. I think we need our piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Like, and that's really up to us as people that represent our ethnicity, people from our background. Like, what do we contribute to hip hop? What is our sonic thumbprint? You know, and I feel like that's something that I want to do is, you know, in 2023, what do we have to say? You know,
When you say that we have something to say or whatever, like in that realm, and that we have to prove ourselves, right? Who are we proving ourselves to? Is it to each other, or is it to the fundamentals of hip hop, which is like a black culture thing?
Yeah, I think it's definitely to ourselves, and then just the whole hip hop community, the whole hip hop culture. I feel like that's who, because I think hip hop is always that. Anybody who makes hip hop has felt that pressure and that machismo, or that like hip hop has always been a flamboyant thing.
Right.
Like you got to say it with your chest out. Like it is kind of competitive, and I've always loved that aspect and embraced it because every rapper should feel that way, right?
Yep.
You know. But with that being said, I think that's where it comes from, was that we all feel like we want to snap and do our best. You feel me? We want to meet our full potential.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, it you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, me, I feel like Chicano rap, to me, and we were having a discussion, but when you think of Chicano rap, it's like gangster rap, right?
Yeah.
Straight up like gangster rap.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that there could be conscious Chicano rap?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of right there. I feel like I'm a good mesh of like right between gangster and Chicano or gangster and conscious rap, you know?
Got you.
Because I don't know, I feel like gang culture right and the gangster rap, you know, banging on wax. That's someone's belief system, you know, and I feel like gang culture and just as I'm going to respect someone's religion, you kind of got to respect that perspective as well. It's like that was someone's upbringing and background. And whether you may not agree with it, you should try to learn to at least like respect it in the sense of like some people really stand on that. As you can see, people die over
Well,
it.
yeah,
right? You know?
definitely. Yeah.
And, you know, I just think to each their own, you know, but just like as I wouldn't knock anybody's sexuality or religion, neither will I knock a gangster's perspective, you know. Like, why would we not acknowledge that too? But with that being said, understanding, the only reason I feel like a lot of my music has that influence is because having a lot of homies from that background, family from that background, I can't help but kind of seeing it first person articulated, you know, and from a perspective of being on passenger, you feel me?
Yeah.
And then being the person that observed that from a conscious perspective of, you know, I feel like I never wanted to be the downest homie or the craziest homie or go straight to the pin type homie, you know. Yeah. But I was right next to that homie, you know. Yeah. And I noticed and I saw his decisions and his logic, you know. Like some people are just nutty and they're gonna do what they do, whatever. But that's some people's reality, you know. And I won't. That's not my reality, but I'm gonna understand it and kind of. And I guess that's where I see my responsibility in the music I articulate is, you know, a homie just like me with the same background, same upbringing, same lifestyle, like identical to me. The only difference is that I can articulate it because I just so happen to be able to rap, to be able to sing, you know, and I don't take that for granted, right? You know, so I feel that responsibility of let me represent us in the right way, you know, because I feel like there's a lot of pain and there's a lot of stories that should be told. You feel me? I remember going through certain things and like even feeling resentment of like, man, like why do we got it rougher? You know, why are we like this? Tough stuff like that. But
yeah. I think you're right, bro. Like in the sense of you articulating your craft and telling stories. I think that's a great thing. How talking about stories and stuff. Do you have a lot of music that you haven't released?
Yeah, I got what I've noticed is I steady create, but I don't share as much as I should, and I think there's a lot of artists, right?
Oh, that's all of us.
That's
bro.
all of us,
yeah,
right?
all
You
of
feel
us.
me?
Yeah.
I'm way better at creating than sharing, you know. And that's what I'm trying to get better at, you know. But with that being said, I feel like I can never stop creating because it's something that I do for self first and foremost. You feel me? But I think any artist, there's a love for the recognition. You know, it's like hanging up your painting and people admiring your painting, you know. And I've always, that's my connection to art as well, too, is the fulfillment and love of painting something, creating it, and then putting it on the wall. That's a part of the process, you know.
Most definitely.
So what I need to do is frame a lot more of my paintings and share them a lot more. And I'm trying to get better at that. And that's obviously marketing, right? You know.
Is that like your kind of the thing that keeps you from doing that? Just you don't know how to market, or you're trying to figure that out?
I was talking to the other homie the other day, and he, like, a few homies that I know that are exceptional, that are great. And the thing is, I had to tell him straight up is that, you know, you're not a horrible artist, bro. You're a horrible marketer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
What makes you a horrible marketer? You know, straight up. Like, I mean, I think because if you're going to say that, you kind of have to give them a whole, like, kind of explanation in a sense. Like, okay, well, how am I a horrible marketer? And the reason I ask that, too, because I feel like I'm a horrible marketer. So I need to learn. Put me up on game, man.
I don't know. I feel like everybody has their marketing style and how much they want to promote music. But overall, is you got to put it out. It's not rocket science, really, you know. And however, like, shout out to, you guys heard of Loresso, right?
Yeah.
Loresso, yeah.
Yeah, and so he's an independent artist, you know.
Yep.
But with that being said, he said something like, you know, media, all that. It's a TV show. You know, the more your TV show plays, the more they're gonna be paying attention to your show in terms of you putting out your show. You know, it's like,
okay.
But with that being said, is, you know, how do you want to market your brand, your show? How often do you want it to be seen? But I think there's so much ways to go about it. There's more than one way to skin a cat. It's really about doing it and not being stuck in analyzing and executing a plan of action, taking action, doing it really. And with that being said, that's unique to everybody. Everybody's brand is different. How much do they want to be seen? Me personally, as an artist, I don't want to say nothing unless I got something to say. So I feel like if I could come through hard every time, then let's do it. You know, that's my expectation. That's the bar I set for myself. You feel me? But I don't really want to be rambling. But to each his own. And that's me personally. That's me. Because this is me against me. Like, that's my own criticism. For sure. Like, as an artist, we're our own critics. You feel me? But that's just how I feel.
That's something that I've been thinking about lately, right? Yeah. About us, even like the podcast, and when it comes to the podcast, me especially, like sometimes I feel like I gotta watch my tongue, right? Yeah. Like I can't just talk and say stupid shit all over the place just because I want to be funny or something, right? Yeah. Because a lot of people can't distinguish a joke from the truth or from reality.
Very true.
Right? So it's like you got to be very careful with that. And so I feel that, like in the sense of you saying that about you know, not just wanting to put anything out there, you know what I'm saying, because you want to have some substance to your songs or whatever. How often are you kind of like getting stuck and like, man, you know what, you start writing a song and you're like, man, this doesn't have any substance, like let me hold back a little bit and come back to this. How often is that happening to you?
So something I've been getting better at, and how I currently feel is that, you know, I've been feeling more confident about what I got to say. I was stuck in a mode where I was just steady writing, creating, and then like just, you know, they call it woodshedding, right? Where you're just writing, spending time with your craft. And I appreciate those moments because creating repeatedly and just on and off, ongoing, I feel like that made me more comfortable to deliver and create quicker now, you know, because once you do it over and over and over again, I feel like it just becomes backhand knowledge, you know, and I still got a lot of room to grow, but I feel like by repetition, I feel like you get better every time. You can get quicker and quicker. And I've personally noticed that, you know, I'm able to pull ideas out of
thin air.
I said thin air. What do they call it? Your subconscious, you know? Yeah. That's how I personally see it. Like, I got so much ideas up in there and I got to dig them out, you know, but I feel like I have personally yet to act on all of my ideas and my best ideas. They're in there. I just got to dig them out.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's dope, dog. Shit. I feel sometimes like it's kind of hard, right? Because right now you're young, right? Yeah. You have I don't know your life. For example, like I don't know your obligations, what bills you have to pay, if you have a family, if you have kids and stuff, right? Yeah. So I feel like if I could give you any piece of advice, I say you dig for those ideas before you have a family and all that, man. So, but most definitely, bro, seeing you, like I told you on the phone, because you know I hit you up today, and like I told you on the phone, my sister. She caught on to your music and stuff, man, and she kept telling us, she's like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying, you guys got to get Danny Boy on the pod, right? It's love. So it's like, I was like, all right, cool, yeah. So then, you know, and also Dre Rocca had mentioned you as well a while back. He's like, hey, man, you guys got to peep this kid out from West Valley, right?
Dre Rocca's a real one, you know. I feel like because he's shown some love to me, and he didn't have to, you know. But I feel like shout out to those people who share their platform. Yeah, shout out to for sure. And that goes for you guys for sure, you know.
Most definitely, man.
We need that. And I feel like I see a lot of potential in the Lake Talk for sure.
Hey,
like everything comes back tenfold, you know. So everybody you guys are helping, you know. A lot of people are gonna come back and show it, you know. And I'm gonna stand on that for sure too.
Yeah. Most definitely, man.
Just in believe.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming through too. I know it was a last minute, bro, and we appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, man. It takes a lot of guts, man. I mean, at least for us, I guess, to even ask you to come last minute, bro. So thank you so much, man.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. But regardless, man, do you
Nah. So did you have any like local artists that they were older and you were looking at here in Utah, like you were like, damn, I want to collab, or I like
Yeah.
what he's doing and stuff like that.
Shout out to the homie Peso Villa.
That's so yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm saying is that we got talent, and that's one of the homies. I feel like the homie is impeccable. The homie creates well. The homie is like as much as I've inspired him, I know he's inspired me. You feel
Yeah.
me? But with that being said, I know that was one homie that was just down the street, and he just snaps out the strength. You know,
Yeah.
he just goes hard. He's a true hip hop lover, creator, just in general. With that being said, I feel like we have yet to hear artists like that. When you mention someone, when you ask me, you feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
That's someone that I do truly recognize, and if I can't help, I will. But all in all, as independent artists, we're all growing at our own pace.
For sure.
And I feel like eventually, though, artists like that were, great artists, but we need to market better, And I think, or where I see my responsibility really is, representing the Ville, representing that region. Hopefully, any opportunity I get, I'm willing to share, I remember saying something like, people don't understand, like, if you let one Chicano in the room, what that does, like we are coming in soon, so that's just how I see it. If I get my foot in any door, people are coming in with me. I'm not really insecure in that aspect of, I think a lot of the times we gatekeep, but that's not really even the situation. Most times we're in our head and we're overthinking.
Yeah.
It's like there's enough for everybody to eat, usually,
Definitely.
And with that being said is, I think, we can all sit and eat,
For
shit
sure.
like that.
For
Yeah.
sure.
I seen a video. My brother was showing me a video with a Capone with the E.
Yeah.
What was that like, man? Meeting Capone, or are you associated with him?
No, I'm not really associated with him, but long story short, someone had gave me a call that he was in my city, that he was in West Valley, and you should come by and meet him, So that's what I did. Just as Capone being someone in hip hop, someone before me, much respect. I went to go say what's up, and his homies helped me get on stage, open up for him, and I think
dope.
that was a cool dub, But there's a lot of things under the surface, but that's not really for me to put out there. I think people know what has happened and what hasn't, but that's the industry for you,
Yeah.
I think also too, being exposed to people like that helps me understand the industry more, understanding it from that perspective of like in those situations, what's really going to happen, how does it really go, So that's definitely, I'm glad for those experiences too, because it motivates me to be an independent artist and make things make sense. Events like that help me understand is that it's going to take a lot more, so a lot, what I've been embracing right now is as much as I feel passionate about writing, like what I do want to emphasize on is that this is way harder, and it's much more than that,
Right.
Like you got to apply yourself in many aspects. Like to be a successful artist is hard, it's not easy.
Yeah.
You feel me? And to really do that, and to really make it make sense, to slap your logo on a t-shirt, to go through all the emotions, it's a hard thing, but I think the passion will keep you going. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. When it comes to dropping music, how often are you gonna try to start dropping music? Like, how
Yeah.
often do you drop music?
That's something I definitely want to pick up on. That's
Okay.
right, and that's just marketing. That's just sheer marketing. With that being said, as with the pedestal that I would want to hold is, as long as I could keep consistent and good stuff, So that's just me setting, setting an expectation for myself and coming through,
Right.
And I feel like every artist feels that way, right? And really, it's just having the confidence to deliver, execute and deliver, at a high quality. You feel me? That's my ideal. And it to really though, it ain't that deep. It's just how big is your budget and what are you working with, and work with that budget and go. You know.
Yeah. Cause that Rehydrated Money video, that shit was dope.
Yeah.
The song was dope.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
How was that experience? Was that your first
Yeah.
music video?
I think that was my second official music video.
Okay.
The first one was Evictions.
Okay. Yeah.
But Dehydrated Money was definitely, being able to work with people of that caliber and working with that budget. it was cool to get creative all in all, you know. And what's cool about visuals, if you could bend them to your creativity and have them really illustrate what you're saying, that's where it gets fun.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
All in all, though, I feel like where I'm at right now is that it is really all in the music, though. You feel me? It's like I feel like it's all about the music, though. Like it's all within the message and how the song sounds. You feel me? That's what really matters. Is I gotta remind myself, because you could get lost in that sauce of like the cameras, the videos, and but really though I remember, like, again, I started with a notebook and a pencil, and I gotta remind myself, is bottom line though is that, you know, it's in me, not on me. You know, I gotta kind of remind myself is that, you know, I could do this with or without those visuals. You know, that's why I like doing stuff is like snapping off the microphone or on the iPhone camera. You know, or like, you know, where if you could deliver, you know, if it goes hard, it's gonna go hard regardless. You know, I feel like, you know, but I mean, visuals are great for marketing. You feel me? But just being realistic is, you know, if you got it in you, you got it. You know,
for sure.
I want to say that aloud, just so people don't get it confused. You know, it's like just get it going. You feel me?
Get it twisted. Yeah, for sure.
Do you charge for collabs?
To be honest, I personally don't feel comfortable with like charging people. I feel like with collabs it's more so, you know, I am kind of cognitive of what message I'm putting out and who am I blending with. You know, it's like, does the palette go? Do those colors mix well? You know, like in terms of analogy, right? You know, But so that's really what I'm aware of. You know, it just got to feel right. I once heard someone say that, like, you know, we don't create with anybody that we don't feel comfortable having dinner with. You know, and that kind of stayed with me. Yeah,
interesting.
Because just realistically speaking, just like you know, are we really saying something together, or are we executing?
Yeah.
You know, are we kind of just doing this because it's a thing, and the only thing we have in common is that we rap, you know? And not to knock anybody, you know, if it just got to feel right. That's It's not that deep, you know. It just got to feel right. Like, you know, I want to create with you, and I feel like I think collabs are never to be forced. You know, if they happen, they happen. You know, you could propose a collab, and you know, if it happens, it happens. You know.
Got you.
Yeah.
Is there any artists right now here locally or maybe out of the state that you would like to work with?
I don't want to favoritize anybody really, you know, because there's so many good artists. But I'm open to working with anybody. Like it just got to make sense. I'd stand on, you know, bring value to value. You know,
right?
Is that, you know, if I bring value to you, you bring value to me. But overall, like just personally right now, I've just been focusing on improving my craft and seeing what I could do. You know, so. But due time though, like, you know, we'll get them going. I got a few that I'm sitting on too.
Nice.
So yeah, but collaborating is fun as long as there's a sense of consensus, right? You know, is if everybody's on the same page and it just got to feel right. You can't really force them, you know.
Cool.
Yeah, I think like right here, like just I feel like there's a good sense of consensus of like, I feel like this went smooth. It didn't feel forced, you know. I was able to walk here with ease, you know.
Yeah,
nice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's the type of environment we like to bring here on the Lake Talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's friendly. You're safe. You know what I'm saying? You're welcome to talk about whatever subject you want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't want to talk about it, then we won't. But
cut it out.
Nah. But yeah, man. I definitely get it.
I seen that post. The funk.
Yeah.
Is this something you're gonna be dropping here soon, or is it a project you're working on?
Yeah, it's gonna be something soon. It'll be a video.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be here very soon. I don't know when you guys are gonna put this out, but it'll probably be out before this. But that's just that'll be for one song out of many, you know.
Okay.
But you know, it has a little plot twist. I don't want to spoil anything, you know.
For sure.
But it's just a cool. It's just a straight like that. It's just a good idea that, you know, I wanted to execute and run with, you know. But, you know, the idea of the funk is, you know, what we grew up saying is, you know, when things pop off, you know, right? Like, you know, when things get active, you know, that's the funk.
It's
you know?
funky.
Yeah.
For sure.
But there's definitely a unique perspective that I give towards to it. You know, I feel like that's interesting. You know, it's one of those, you know, that you really got to read between the lines.
Okay.
You know, that's what I love about hip hop is that's the aspect that I don't slack on is, I definitely do try to embed messages if I can. You feel me? Yeah.
That's dope.
Like you should, bro.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it's needed because
Yeah.
there's a lot of that other stuff that, gets
Yeah.
the young kids involved in other shit that,
Mhm.
really doesn't help them in life. But
Yeah,
if you
at
can
all.
guide them away from that, that's
Yeah.
dope.
But I'm learning though too is that like there's only so much we can do to music, and I'm realizing like it's gonna take more than music, to be honest. And that's where community involvement comes in and stuff like that is really being present. I feel like people talk a good one, but they never take action. With that being said though too, is like I've learned to take a lot of my music with a grain of salt. I think sometimes the youth just need something they can connect to.
Yeah.
Something that resonates with them. Because all in all is that, I'm not in their household. I can't decide what they're really going to do. But I am cognitive of what I say can influence them. But with that being said is, I think right now with my music and just my production, I'm still finding my sound. I'm still open to creating on different types of productions. But yeah, with that being said, I feel like I got a lot of room to grow. You feel me? But I think I'm still finding my sounds because I didn't let me not having a sound or having the best producers in my corner stifle me. I was just hopping on whatever, whether it was a YouTube beat or these are the producers in my circumference, and I'm gonna work with them.
Yeah.
But I think every artist might feel like that at one point where they haven't been exposed to the best resources. But regardless, we're gonna make do.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like I'm currently at. Is that eventually I'm gonna lean towards the sound, and I think I'm getting more comfortable on certain productions, But yeah, yeah.
I think it's like the experience, bro. Like you taking yourself through that experience and not try to like jump a step.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's gonna make you even more better.
Yeah.
Than what you are. So definitely, man. I get that. There's some people that I feel like they try to go from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
It
dog,
backfires.
backfires big time. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's good that you're taking it step by step, man.
Yeah.
Like you should.
Hell yeah.
Like you should, bro.
Hell yeah.
I have some rapid questions. We're
go.
going to do a little rapid questions. The
Yeah.
first one, I already know you told us, but I wrote this down before you came in. But
Yeah.
we'll get started.
Yeah.
West Coast or East Coast?
West Coast.
Lakes or beach?
Lakes.
Okay. Tamales or pupusas?
Tamales.
Okay. DJ Quick or Dr. Dre?
DJ Quick.
Lowriders or luxury cars?
Luxury cars.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, let's elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah.
DJ Quick and Dr. Dre. Why DJ Quick, man?
Bro, I feel like DJ Quick was truly. I don't knock Dr. Dre.
No, of course not.
But I feel like DJ Quick, he really did. He laid down a lot of foundation, and he was truly talented. And from what I know too, is that he wasn't recognized even in terms of composition or compensation. Is from what I've heard. That's a whole other thing in itself. But I know that I've heard his art. I lived with it, and I hear true meaning. And the fact that he was the one man band, like that's my inspiration of like seeing how he did that. How he rapped, he produced, and he was the engineer. Like he was really innovative, and that inspires me to be innovative as well. So I really like his, and then him being, just around gang culture. So I could relate to him a lot. I feel like we need more people like that. Where I feel like DJ Quick was really smart. And he was around certain people, but he didn't let that stop him. You feel me? And I think it's very motivational. I think, he really took it a whole nother level.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he played instruments. I mean,
he said it himself, man. He's a nerd when it comes to the music. He's a nerd. He said, bro. So I love DJ Quick too, man. One of my best producers. Or I think, and I ain't gonna lie, I feel he's better than Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not knocking Dr. Dre's accomplishments because he is a great producer as well. But I just feel like Dr. Dre has more. I mean, DJ Quick has more like of what's the word?
Or what?
No. Just the upper hand, I guess,
Oh.
when it comes to playing his own music and stuff and collaborating with all sorts of people as well. But anyways, that's just my opinion. and you know, like that saying goes, everybody, you know, like a butthole, everybody has one, you know, and they all stink, so it's all good. Anyways, bro, so yeah, man, yeah, that's dope, bro. Okay, I got you.
Besides, do you have any upcoming concerts or anything like that?
Well, how I feel about concerts, even is in just is like I'm all about right now is making it make sense. Is that I would love to perform for people. I've done it before, and I've showed up to venues, you know, but I'm just really aware of, you know, what value I'm bringing and what value is being brought to me in terms of, you know, if I hop on a stage and I'm bringing people, you know, I should be getting a percentage, or I should, you know, being compensated in a way. And it's not about money really though, but it's just really understanding my values that it got to make sense.
For sure.
And all in all is that I guess I'm not too pressed to get to that. You know, I'll get to that, but I feel like I want to get it to a point where it makes sense. And those are things in the near future that I'm going to act on, you know.
Okay.
But to me, you know, doing a concert somewhere in my community, for my actual community, for people who really want to show up and people who really believe and stand in the music I create makes more sense. And even if that means doing it independently, that makes more sense than paying someone to get on and, you know, performing for people that I may not really connect with. But I guess I'm saying that to say is that there could be a lack of connection when you're looking for that put on or that opening up, you know, it just got to make sense, you know.
For sure.
And I can distinctify what does and doesn't, you know, just straight like that.
Okay. I get that. Makes a lot of sense, bro.
Yeah.
You it has to make sense.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes. So I get you, bro.
Yeah.
Most def, man. That's crazy because I mean, once again, you have had concerts and you have performed for people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like with Capone,
Yeah.
in a sense, right? You opened up for him.
Mhm.
How was that? How was that feeling though? Like when you did that?
I think that was great. It was cool to see, you know, all my Rasha out there. But even like experiencing that is that, you know, what percentage was I getting out of that? Really, you know, it was good exposure. It was good marketing. But you gotta, I think there's just this mystique is that like, anytime you try to do anything with a bigger artist, you're not really getting their marketing. You know, you're not.
If anything, they're getting yours.
Yeah, you're paying them and you're bringing more value to them, stuff like that. And it's just logic. You just got to think logical and think practical. And that's the part of the industry I don't really like is that it eats and fends off our beloved artists. You know what I mean? And I can't help but notice, you know, I can't help but see that, you know, a lot of artists are passionate and hungry to the point where they're putting up their hard-earned money to get on, you know, because it's in their heart. You feel me? But I can't be that same guy that's playing himself. You feel me? So to me, it just got to make sense. And it's not me being cocky or acting like, you know, I'm too good for the stage. It's just knowing my worth in terms of you know, time is money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Most def.
Yeah.
Got you.
Where can people find your shirts and
so on www.westvalleycommunity.com. So you can find some t-shirts. As of right now, you know, I'm glad to have the t-shirts out. To even see them on people's torsos, that means a lot, you know, and it's great for marketing. You feel me? People wearing your t-shirts. I would encourage, like, don't be afraid to just get them out. You know, I think it's great for marketing. And that's where I'm at right now. You know, I love how t-shirts make sense, where I've introduced that, you know, this brand is actually for profit, you know, like, of course, artists need to eat too.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So yeah, with that being said, I feel like, you know, don't be discouraged to make a brand and just get it going. You feel me? Because you know, you just gotta recognize your wealth or your value. You feel me?
Most def, man.
Yeah.
Any shout outs, man, that you want to give? You know what I'm saying?
Shout outs. I'd say shout out to all the educators. You know, I feel like there's so many people that have educated me and that I can't say on my two hands, you know. But shout out to shout out to the people on the back end, you know, that don't get their recognition. I feel like, you know, shout out to the educators in Spy Hop, all my mentors there, you know, the homie Anthony, the homie Mo, even though he's not there right now, the homegirl Shondine, the homie Mike Johnson, that's a big homie. But people like that, like, you know, they out in the limelight, but trust and believe, you know, not all heroes wear capes, you know. And I love people like that, because those are our true leaders, our true community leaders, people that, you know, have the love and strength and within them to give and still push forward, you know. So like those are the people I want to shout out, you know. Shout out to all the parents, you know, like you know, shout out to our heavy hitters on the back end, you feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like
Sure.
you know, not everybody looks cool, but they're cool, you feel me? You know, like,
Hey, bro, man, I mean, thank you so much for coming through, bro. We appreciate your time. Once again, I know it was short notice, but thank you for making it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Making it through, bro.
Is there anything you feel like we missed or you would like to say?
Nah, anything I would like to say, I'll just encourage people to be themselves, you know, just be comfortable on your own skin, you know. Yeah, just be yourself, really, just straight like that. I feel like, yeah,
That's
do
dope,
you,
bro.
man. Feel me? Yeah.
And where can people find your music or your social media?
So Instagram would be WVC Danny. Facebook would be West Valley Morante. And then within there, you could, on the bios, you could find link trees to the website again, which is www.westvalleycommunity.com.
Okay.
And then right there, you can find YouTube links. If you just go on YouTube, you put Danny Boy Dehydrated Money, you can see the video. But with that being said, I feel like I still got a lot to prove. You know, I feel like I'm gonna need to deliver a lot more art. I feel like I got a lot more things to express, and I'm definitely motivated to share my art with people more. You know, so
Cool.
I'll just say hold that to me. You know, hold it. You know, cause
Hey, we definitely will, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna be bugging you, dog.
you.
You're like,
Yeah.
hey, when are you gonna put that song out, man?
hell yeah. Yeah.
And then also send it our way, man, on our
Appreciate that.
Instagram, and we'll post it and do
Yeah,
all that stuff.
help
man,
promote
share
it,
on
bro.
stories.
For
So-
sure.
so
Hell yeah.
man.
But yeah, man, once again, like I said, thank you very much for coming. Dog, thank you so much for being here as well.
Of course.
And yeah, you know, it is what it is, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thank you for listening. Join us next time on the Lake Talk.
The Lake